are rich people greedier than normal people?
No, because most of the rich people I know, they're constantly thinking about how do they add value, add value, add value. The conversation is constantly how do I add value? And it's a mindset of what are the problems that need solving in the world? How do I solve those problems? If I ask someone, think of an amount of money let me do this for you. Let me see how you go with this activity. I want you to think of an amount of money that if I can give you that amount of money, right, you'll be happy, right? All of your needs will be met. But I don't want you to be greedy. So pick an amount of money that's not greedy, where all of your needs get met next year, 2026. Give me that amount.
So that would be my net worth if I hit
No,
this?
no, this will be your income next year. How much do you want?
All of my needs are met. I would say like 250 grand.
250 grand. Okay, great. So that's a really greedy number because all you've thought about is your own personal circle and your own personal circumstances. A less greedy number would be $1 billion, because if you said with $1 billion, I can buy a rainforest, I can help homeless people, I can help extended members of my family. So if you said that my personal needs, I have a need to make a big impact in the world. Like if you said my core driving need is to make impact, then 250 grand is not going to make impact. It's just going to look after your own little world. So the smaller the number, the more greedy. By definition, you're only thinking about yourself, right? Now,
that's an interesting perspective. Yeah.
Now, someone who's got a family would definitely say a bigger number because they're thinking, well, my needs are to provide for my kids and my family. And someone who's got a close extended family might say, actually, I'm going to pick 1.5 million so I can help my parents and my sister. And then someone who's like community minded would say, I'm going to pick a bigger number so I can help my community. So it's greedy to want less and it's not greedy to want more.
And the main thing, like, because a lot of people have their needs met with less than 250 grand. The reason why I said that is because one need of mine is to like be incredibly ambitious. And if I'm not solving for that ambition, then
you're still thinking about yourself.
Yeah, I know. That's 100%.
So
now, when you said like the other thing was like, I want to make sure I'm saving enough to be able to provide for a certain like quality of life for my future family. That was another consideration.
So future family. So it's still very close to home.
Yeah.
Imagine if your scope of influence that you felt a need for were like, there's this young guy called Boylan Slat. He's a young guy who is pulling plastic out of the oceans. He's ending plastic out of rivers and streams. He's building boats that harness all the plastic that goes down rivers, pulling it out and getting it out of the river system. He's going into the deep parts of the ocean, pulling all this plastic out. Now, if I ask him that question, how much do you need next year to get your needs met? He's going to say billions because I want to pull all the plastic out of the ocean. Do you see the difference? So it's greedy to think about your own personal needs, and it's not greedy to think about how can I make an impact in the world. The people who are the richest and the wealthiest that I know, they think way bigger. And their need, their core desire is big impact. So yeah, so rich people, I think, they're always talking about value add, solving big problems at scale, and they're thinking about their need is to solve a big problem at scale.
Does money change people? Can it make you turn into an a-hole?
It's an accelerant. If you're an asshole, if you're an a-hole, then it's going to amplify and accelerate that. It's going to give you more scope. It's leverage, right? It's the thing that gives you maximum leverage. So if you're a very generous person, you could become generous at scale. If you're an a-hole, you become a-hole at scale.
Best and worst investment you've ever made?
The best investment is when I met my wife and I said, let's travel together for the next 3 months. Let's travel around the world together. And that's where our paths could have gone different ways, but best investment was making sure that relationship worked. Best investment, having kids, making the commitment to do that. Worst investments have always been based on this is a really good way to make money.
Like what would be the worst investment?
Oh, like I stuck, angel investments where like I'm not actually passionate about the team or anything, but they've done a really good pitch about how much money they're going to make. And I go, oh, that's exciting. I'm going to put 20 grand into that. And then of course it goes to zero pretty quickly. So anything that's just purely money motivated tends to be like, those ones have been my worst. And anything that's like I love the people, I really want to see them succeed. Like the best investments are into relationships, So like I recently made an angel investment into this company, and it was basically I wasn't interested in this. I was just interested in the relationship. Like Chris Williamson, awesome guy. I want to see him succeed. Like
Great drink too.
yeah, but I didn't make the investment based on the deck. I made the investment based on Chris.
What is the worst financial advice you constantly hear?
The worst is around the idea that compounding alone will get you to this amazing affluent place. It tends to be that if you save and invest, you will stay ahead of inflation. You will get slightly ahead. You will get comfortable. But in order to get ahead, you've got to commit to being of excellent service to others at scale.
Should you leave money to your kids?
Depends on the kids. So let's say you have a kid who's disabled. Of course, that's going to change their life. They don't have an ability to do that. Maybe you have a kid who's massively community minded but not entrepreneurially minded, and they're doing great work. And it's like, you know what? I just so happened to be that I was entrepreneurial and that was my thing. And if I can support this other work, then that's a good reason. If you have a child who dedicates themselves to being part of the business, so here's like, this is why it's not such a simple question. Let's say, for example, my daughter decides that by the time she's in her 20s, she recognizes that we have an amazing family business and that it would be the best opportunity to work together on building that. Let's say she dedicates 10, 20, 30 years of her life into building out the family business. It's only right that she becomes a major partner in the business and an equity partner and all of that. Should you just throw money at a spoilt brat who wants to live large without any exchange? Probably not. But yeah, it depends on the kid.
Favorite book?
I believe that the book that changes your life the most is the one that you write, not one you read. So I'm a really big believer of getting people to write a book. And I'm like make an effort to write a book.
But what's your favorite book?
The books I've written.
Yeah, you just came out with a book, right? Or you're coming out
Yeah,
with
I've got-
something,
What's your
yeah.
favorite book that you haven't written?
Well, stick with the point. The point is that reading is consumption, and that's great. It's great to consume. Writing is creation. We make money from creation, not consumption. So if you can create a book, you're going to learn so much and earn so much more than any book you could possibly read. So I can give you a list of great books, but I want to challenge people to be less on the consumption side and more on the creation side. Like I want to say that technology has democratized the ability to have a book out. You used to have a publisher, you used to have a distribution channel, you used to have all of these things that were very hard to get. Now all of those things are easy. So for the first time in human history, technology can help you to write and publish and distribute that book. So why not make it a short-term goal in the next year or two to write, publish, and distribute a book and have a book and have that intellectual property asset that's working for you, have an intellectual property asset that is positioning you as an authority at something, and push yourself through the challenge of writing something rather than just being the same person who just reads stuff. Like reading stuff is not hard. Writing stuff is hard. Do the hard thing.
What's a daily habit you swear by?
Being sales focused. Business is demand and supply, and no one's going to come and do the demand side. It's very easy to get people to come and do the supply side. It's very hard to generate demand. Being involved in marketing, sales campaigns, selling, pitching. I believe entrepreneurship is the journey of 1,000 pitches. That one way or another, if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, you're going to have to pitch that thing 1,000 times. 1,000 average pitches gets you nothing, and 1,000 great pitches gets you $10 to $100 million. So 1,000 great pitches. So a daily habit is like, I need to pitch my business every single day to somebody new, right? Or re-enroll someone. It's a new employee, it's a new customer, it's a new investor, it's a new supplier, it's a new partner, but pitching. Entrepreneurship is the journey of 1,000 pitches.